So the next question is, what is a material group? Typically, when I refer to material group or product hierarchy, they all refer to the material master. So the word material and the word product are the same. Okay. Now, let's take an example of a retailer who's selling a whole bunch of products. Say he sells electronics, he sells household, sells clothing, and the list goes on and on. Now, here are some questions. What is the total sales in the electronics division? Right? It's a valid question, right? The CEO, CIO, or the sales manager wants to know the answer to that question. Or what is, let's say, the year-on-year growth in the clothing division? Right? Another valid question. Another action is, let's say, run a 10% discount. Okay, it's a promotional discount on all electronics. Or say, run a free shipping, right, on all clothing with a sales value greater than $150, right? So if you look at this, what's the total sales value in electronics? This is some kind of a reporting. You want to analyze what is the total sales and then, come up with some actionable items to increase the sales or do cross-selling or whatever. So this is an example of an analytical question. And same with this. What is the year-on-year growth in clothing for this year or compared to the next year or compared to the previous year? This is also an example of an analytical requirement or a question. And you can use material groups for that. A material group is a grouping of a certain set of materials, say all electronics, and you can use that material group to identify what's the total sales of all materials belonging to that division. Same with this. All clothing, year-on-year growth. So you compare the previous quarters or previous year's growth, revenue or profit compared to this year's revenue or profit, and then you do a year-on-year. On the other hand, if you want to run a 10% discount on all electronics, this is an example of an operational requirement, meaning to do your day-to-day operation, like you give 10% discount, first you have to be able to identify what electronic products are. So you got so many different materials, right? You have to identify that these products belong to electronics division or some division, and then you'll be able to run a discount on it, or you'll be able to do pre-shipping on it, or any kind of an operational thing that you want to do, right? You want to gift wrap it or anything. You have to be first able to identify that product. So a material group is a means of classifying or tagging a material for operational or analytical reasons.